Hey there, I just wanted to jump in here and share the latest on the PPP loan. Today is June 4th, so this recording is assuming all the facts that I am aware of as of June 4th. And again, this should not be construed as legal or tax advice. Today, the Congress has signed a bill that would loosen up some of the provisions of the initial CARES Act. And I'm assuming that it will be signed into law by the president. So I won't go into a lot of the details. However, I will cover the most important ones that should apply to the majority of small businesses. Number one provision that was created or established is the extension of the 8-week covered period to 24 weeks. So it's 24 weeks or December 31st, 2020, whichever is earlier. That covered period means that you have 24 weeks to spend the PPP proceeds and then apply for forgiveness, which is great. Great news for small businesses who have been closed, who couldn't really work and pay their employees and so on and so forth. One thing that you do have to keep in mind, and the bill actually gives you that option, is you could still elect the 8-week period if that applies to your business, if that's easier for your business. Because in order to apply for forgiveness, you would actually have to wait until that period is over. So if you've already spent all of the money within the 8 weeks because you had high payroll costs and so on, it doesn't make sense for you to wait the 24 weeks. So just keep that in mind. It's an option for you. It's an election, so you can choose whether to use 8 or 24 weeks. Number two is the bill established a provision that would loosen up the 25% non-payroll cost requirement. What does that mean? That means that you used to be limited to the 25% of the total loan proceeds to be spent on non-payroll, so rent, mortgage interest, utilities, and so on. Now, that percentage was increased to 40%. That's great news. However, keep this in mind. The bill also created a cliff provision. What that means is that you have to spend the other 60% on the payroll costs, no exceptions. So, yes, you get to spend a little bit more on the rent and utilities, which could be pretty high, but you have to keep in mind that if you don't spend 60% of loan proceeds on payroll, none of it will be forgiven. That's what the new bill says. Okay? And the third most important provision that I wanted to mention is that you now have longer to replace the full-time equivalent level, which initially was supposed to be done by June 30th. So you as a business would have to restore your payroll count, so your employee count plus employee salaries, restore them back to the level of February 15th of this year, 2020. So if you did not restore, then you wouldn't be eligible for forgiveness. So there were a couple of strict rules. You can check out my other videos on the 25% workforce and salary limit. So what this provision, what this bill did, was that it gave you until December 31st to restore to those levels, because the government realized that some of the businesses are still forced to be closed, and basically nobody knows when they'll be able to open, hopefully by the end of the year. So they've loosened up their provisions to give you a little bit more flexibility. Now, there is additional relief available for businesses that will remain partially or fully closed until the end of the year, and you can check out a couple of articles. I will post the link under this video. But those are the three main provisions that will affect many businesses that I work with, and I'm sure that will affect your business as well. So check out that article and also check out my other videos. I hope this is helpful, and I'll talk to you later.